Okay, after watching this movie, two realizations came into play. Christopher Nolan, you did a good job leaving WB. They don't know what the freak they are doing. And number two, this goes to Disney now. Do this. Bring back Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, Pluto, Chip and Dale, and just have a old school 2D film. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon, reviewing The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. So first off, before I talk about what it's about, okay, sure, why not? Chewing gum. Some people chew it, they become crazy, and something shenanigans ensues. I'm not going to really explain the plot because actually when I watched the movie, there are some twists and turns that aren't shown in the trailer. So I'm not going to really explain who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, but just to know, Porky the Pig and Daffy Duck are just shenanigans in this movie, and it's a freaking blast. Okay, animation's hysterical, especially Farmer Jim or Farmer James or Farmer John. This animation in the beginning, hysterical. I mean, there's just things like how did Porky the Pig get the the stutter? It shows it. It's funny. Like there's just subtle stuff in it that makes you laugh, that makes you chuckle, that just makes you smile. This movie makes you smile and makes you think about the good old days because you're like, you don't get these type of movies anymore. You get these like 3D movies that try to do some musical numbers or some Encanto with no bad guy, or like, what's the last one that came out? Wish, with just like, it just doesn't work. This does. It has a bad guy. Well, that's what you think. It has funny characters. It has that nice 2D animation with a mix that just is like, why don't they make this anymore? What are they doing? And I think WB has no idea what the fuck they're doing. Okay, I didn't mean to cuss. I know this is a PG review, but that's the only one you get because this is more of a angst with WB. Because you have the Coyote and the Acme movie they decided to scrap. This one goes to Catch Up Entertainment. This was made in 2022. It's going to go to Max and then Cartoon Network, and then something just blew up and it's releasing 3 years later. Like, what is happening? Why are we so scared to have a decent budget and release this and show the world? Like, people are like, oh, well, we need this. Well, apparently the new Snow White remake isn't going to work. Apparently this other WB crap, like, it looks like Mickey 17 dropped like a mofo in the second weekend. And then people are like, oh, we need remakes. Okay, fine. You know what? Sure. Looney Tunes, Mickey Mouse, Daffy Duck, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like stuff like that you can do and use. But this is going to be a quick review because it's a fun freaking movie. It's funny. It's animated so well. It's laughing. I had a great freaking time. The story works. Yes, it's a simplistic story about friendship. I'm going to say backstabbing, but it's just straight up shenanigans. This reminds me of, beep, beep, Coyote, Roadrunner, Go, crazy, Space Jam, craziness, just off the wall. Okay, not the LeBron James one, Michael Jordan one, but it's just fun. And this is what I was missing so much because when you watch Inside Out 2, when you watch Wish, when you watch some of these movies, you're like getting a lesson. Yes, I understand we need this lesson about growing up and blah, 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 and we have to be so freaking serious, blah, blah, blah. No, sometimes I want the Tom and Jerry. Sometimes I just want the shenanigans, and this brought it to me. Zarzloff, whatever his name is, that doesn't know what he's doing WB with axing Batgirl. Probably axing Coyote versus Acme. There's a reason why Christopher Nolan, after Tenet, said, deuces. Universal says, I got you, winning like 8 freaking Oscars, and WB's like, please come back. And then, thank God, Christopher Nolan had the balls to be like, no, I'm going back to Universal to make Odyssey. I swear to God, though, I don't think Christopher Nolan. Okay, I could see Christopher Nolan maybe doing a Bond film only if he literally goes to Jeff Bezos and Amazon saying, like, I get creative control. I get to pick the Bond. This is released in theaters for up teen times, which I think Amazon, MGM, they're more like, theater friendly than Apple and Netflix. So I don't think Christopher Nolan will have an issue with that because you have that Superboys, you had American Fiction. So I don't see that being an issue, but the creative control I'm very fascinated with. Overall, the day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes story, it's bonkers, it's fun, your kids will freaking enjoy it. I'm sorry that I dropped the F-bomb once in this movie, but after watching this and realizing what WB is trying to do and is doing with some of these movies, it's just so freaking baffling. So the day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes story will receive a 4.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 90%. And of course, this is another one where the trailer didn't do the movie justice as well. Critics and audience scored 86% with both, 65 critics, 100. There's absolutely no critic consensus. And unfortunately, okay, there's one funny scene in the movie where that shadow walking out. There's no critic consensus, and this won't get an Oscar nomination because they did a limited release. They should have waited and done it in 2025. But it is what it is. It's over and done with. 9086. Chase Hawk here, the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing's Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'll watch Stay tomorrow week for a month. And here for every single freaking one of you. WB, what are you doing?